What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here. Again, glad to be back. And today we have something special for you guys. This was the highest voted gun. I've got a bunch of new guns to do reviews on, and we have a whole bunch of reviews coming. But I did a patron vote, and this is the winner. It is the Beretta 92X Performance. As far as I'm aware, there's not any real legit reviews on YouTube, so I'm one of the first people to get my hands on one of these and put it through its paces. It is definitely a Beretta 92 in every sense of the word. However, there's a lot of differences to this model, particularly that makes it different from pretty much every other model. First off, they went back to the thumb safety, which I'm a big fan of. I really like that. I also really like the weight increase, and I like the look. Overall, they gave it a little bit meaner look, moved the rear sight back a little bit, added a fiber optic. You got front and rear slide serrations, although, again, when you're doing your press checks, be careful of that because this barrel will be hot. The the takedown lever here actually has a little gas pedal on it, which feels pretty nice. The magazine release is extended. They came with flat grips, which has a flat back if you really like that. I got a little bit bigger hands, so I went with the humped. This is a one piece that just fits in there, and then you screw them down with the grip screws. It's got a nickel finish, which I really like. It looks really, really sleek. Italian guns, man, they just have all the curves in all the right places, and they look really nice. On top of that, I think it's gonna run really nice too, because the trigger is very nice. I would dare to say the best Beretta trigger that I've ever tried. Well, that's what happens when you live in Iowa. Your paperwork blows away. Not a problem, we don't need it anyway. Let's check the reset here real quick. Very cool. But the biggest thing they did was put a few pounds on her. This guy has not been through Jenny Craig, I can promise you that. This is about 50 ounces, making it essentially twice as heavy as your average polymer gun. Pretty close to twice as heavy as your average Beretta, honestly. And it's really, really engineered competition. Weight and the direct comparison to the Shadow 2, I think, is fascinating. This is really Beretta's answer to the Shadow 2. On top of that, USPSA has increased the weight limit this year that I think just for this gun. I think this gun is going to be very popular. There's a lot of Beretta M9 fans, a lot of 92 fans out there that have been looking for a competition-oriented style gun, and I feel like you have it in this. Now, I'm not sure about red dot mounts yet, but I'm sure they will be down the road. But as far as a production gun, if you're going to run production in USPSA or IDPA, and you want to run a 92, this is probably the place for it. Not only do you have the weight to reduce the recoil, but you also have the added bonus of vicing down on the thumb safety and vicing down on the little gas pedal here. Not overly expensive. I was actually pretty impressed. Not only did I find this at my local gun store, but it was actually a pretty reasonable price as well, just a little bit over $1,000. Not only are they available, but they're actually reasonable priced. Again, I feel like directly targeted at the Shadow 2. But without further ado, let's go shoot it. That's what we're trying to beat right there. We're gonna try to shoot this gun before that comes here and makes us all a little less dry. So throw the ear pro in, shoot this bastard.
Or a little more wet, if you will.
Okay. So we're gonna see if my M9A3 mags run. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't run, but we'll see how they do here. This comes with 3 9mm mags. This is a 17 round because it's from my M9A3, but I already lost one. It's in the house somewhere. All right, so it already handles recoil very well. This is hot 124 grain. I wanted to run through that first. Runs fine so far. Let's try some of the lighter 115. Runs like a dream. Accurate. Got to adjust the sights a little bit, but that's why it has an adjustable sight. But right now I'm having too much fun loading mag after mag and just spraying rounds around, so worry about that later. guy's head from about 10 yards away. See where we're hitting here. All right, so we pop the first one, and then we try to land our bullet on the same hole. Pretty close. Honestly, considering how light the slide is and how heavy the frame is, and I mean it is heavy, it does have just a little bit more muzzle flip than I expected. So a couple things I like about the gun right off the bat, obviously going to be the recoil impulse. Even though it's a little bit snappier than a Shadow 2, that's not really saying that much because Shadow 2 is the least recoiling gun I've ever felt. So compared to everything else other than the Shadow 2, it does a really good job. It's also raining, by the way. We're gonna try to push forward as long as it just sprinkles a little bit. But I like the thumb safety. It feels very natural. It doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like a 1911 thumb safety where you can ride it and it feels really good. It's in the right spot. I like the grip. However, again, just a little bit short, but it does have that included beveled magwell, and that is how a grip should be done. Why not have a beveled magwell? I mean, that's so awesome right out of the factory. Trigger feels nice, seems very accurate right out of the box, and the gun is absolutely beautiful. My sexy Italian wife commented on this sexy Italian gun, and the curves on it are amazing, and the look is amazing. The only problem I have is what is going on with this. We know to read the manual before use, and we know it fires without a magazine. So what do you have to have it all over the gun for? Eliminate that. There's no need for that. The gun is beautiful as is, and you stamp that on there, and it's like, I don't know, it's like screwing a road sign to a side of a Ferrari. Like, it just doesn't look very good. And I wish it wasn't there, but that's nitpicking. I got a couple more mags loaded, and what do you want to do? One close and then move back, or you want to move back now?
Do what feels good.
Okay.
Good thing I'm wearing a bikini.
I gotta watch that raining. Over the top, because I do an over the top of the Beretta, I'm gonna lose some skin.
Okay.
Easy to hit with this. Whew. Move further back. All right, so now we got the 92X Performance out here at 80 yards, and it wasn't built for a long range gun, but I bet it'll do fine. The last one. That wind's blowing me all over the place. Let's try one more little half a mag. We got 8 rounds here. See if we can put most of them on a target here at 80 yards in the beginnings of a storm here. I missed the last one again. So I'm good as long as the wind doesn't change. Crosswinds are a real thing in Iowa because we have no cover of any kind. So when it's storming, it starts getting all over the place. I try to hold on the left shoulder there while the wind is pushing, but then when it dies down right as I pull the trigger, sometimes things get a little wonky. Just want to say what's up, Zach, and hopefully you have good luck on your deployment, you and all of the Iowa Guardsmen that are going out to do some work. So appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. Also, I want to give you my final thoughts on the Beretta 92X Performance, which I feel like brings a lot of things to the table that Beretta didn't have before. Number one of those is a dedicated competition gun. For you guys that have spent your whole life on the M9 platform or the 92 platform, it'd be super nice if you didn't have to switch to something else to shoot a USPSA gun, or even go out and do some trick shots in front of your friends or whatever you want to do. Having a high performance gun doesn't mean you need to go out and compete. It just means that it performs well in whatever aspect you're doing, in which case this obviously does. There's some things I really like about it. Number one, I like the trigger. I'm a big fan of it. I like the look of it. I like the thumb safety placement. Obviously, this is a huge improvement over having it on the slide. How it took this long to move it on the frame so you don't accidentally engage it, and so you can also use it as a benefit, and on top of that, use it in the battery of arms. If you're gonna have a safety on a gun, it's not a big deal, but have it in the battery of arms. So moving it to the frame just makes sense. Pick rail makes a lot of sense. The grips make a lot of sense. The safety makes a lot of sense. Adding weight makes a lot of sense. However, I do feel that the added almost 20 ounces didn't do as much in the recoil impulse mitigation as I thought it was gonna do. And overall, I think they might have made it a little too heavy. I'm on the fence yet, but I know 2020 is all about the big girls. It's all about the heavy guns. That's why they're upping the weight limits with everything, and they're trying to make every gun bigger. Sometimes I feel like you get to a point where you sacrifice drawing, transitioning, and longevity of dry fire practice if you have a gun this heavy. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a little bit of a sweet spot somewhere between the 35, 42 ounce. And that's just me, that's my personal preference, and that's nitpicking. The gun is fantastic. It shoots accurate, it's super fast. However, if I could have engineered it, I think I would have done it just a little bit lighter. Overall, still pretty excellent gun. We're gonna do 1,000 rounds through it, make sure it's reliable. It shot 2 different types of ammo today, 115 grain cheap reman and 124 grain Cellar and Bellet, and it ran them just fine, and neither one of those are what I would call premium ammo. So overall, I think it's gonna be reliable, I think it's gonna be durable, but we'll have to see. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go down there and check all those links out. I'm glad to be back. See you later.